it's Jade. Thank you so much for tuning back into my The Bachelor commentary. This week is Fantasy Suites. It is one of the moments we've been waiting for. The final three girls will finally spend a whole day and night with Grant as they see if they can build a deeper connection, ask questions they may have been too afraid to on camera, and Grant can really see who's going to be the best option for his fiance. Let's get into it. This week we are in the Dominican Republic, some place that Grant calls his second home. He's part Dominican and he also played basketball out there, so he's really feeling like he's in his environment, which makes the best of circumstances because this is going to be the most hectic week since the show began. First up is Juliana for her one-on-one day with Grant. She meets up with Daisy, the woman who came in second place during Joey's season, and gets some advice. She talks about how something that she's been concerned about is infidelity, and in her past relationship, she was getting cheated on a lot, and that is something that worries her when she thinks about Grant spending the night with two other women. And she also shares how they both said that they are starting to fall in love with each other at this point, so there's clearly some strong feelings there. And so Daisy expresses that when she was at this point last year, it could have gone one of two ways. She could have opened up or completely shut down. She chose to open up, and now she looks back and regrets nothing even though she didn't win. So she inspires Juliana to do the same. For their activity, they go go-karting through the Dominican Republic jungle, and they're getting muddy, they're moving fast, but it looks like they're having fun. And they come to a pit stop, chill and drink and talk on this bench, and while they're sitting there, they discuss why the Dominican Republic is so important to Grant, how his grandmother is from there. She passed away recently. He tells Juliana that when he thinks of her, he sits there and catches himself smiling, and he thinks of her a lot. And he can ultimately tell that she's still holding back a little and is hoping that she's able to be a little bit more forward and open with him tonight. The evening, Juliana comes in, body looking like milk in this cute white set. She looks so good. I probably would have saved that for the proposal. Outfit is cute, white. She's trying to give him a glimpse into the future. She's looking good. She's looking real good. In the evening, Juliana comes forward and discusses how infidelity was a big part of her last relationship.
You know, my last relationship, and that was a really hard one for me. Like, he cheated on me, he lied to me time and time again with somebody that I gave like an arm and a leg to, and like way more chances than I should have. And I tried my best to believe them because I thought that that's what love like was. And that was like 6-7 years of my life.
I can see, how like that would really break someone down. You're trusting this person wholeheartedly, and then they keep betraying you, and then you keep trying to forgive them and they do it again, and it's just like it would make it so hard to open yourself up to someone. And she is really trying to communicate that to Grant and saying,
I'm like a little broken, and I'm still like working to like fix myself. I want it so bad, but I'm just like so afraid that like somebody's not gonna like love me for the full me.
I'm glad that she had enough respect for herself to leave that situation. If you're not, look, someone does that to me in any circumstances, I'm gone. But like for someone to just do that to you through dating, there is no way you should be staying to fight for that. That person made their choice and they chose to betray you. And unfortunately, I don't think somebody can love you and betray you like that. So if they do that, they really don't care about you. And then what's the point of being with someone I love who doesn't love me back the same?
It's just so scary to feel like, I have somebody like you in front of me. And there's a chance that it might not be me. And And you're showing up for me in ways that I just have missed out on in a really, long time. And you just mean a lot to me already that it's scary.
I just feel so bad for her because, it's not gonna be her. I strongly feel like it's gonna be Latia, but to see Juliana break down like this, ooh, sister.
You don't have to come already 100% made up. Everybody's broken up. I have parts of me that are broken too. I didn't want to ever go through that again.
Yeah.
Sister, I feel so bad, and I know Grant is just gonna feel devastated. Or I could be wrong, but to be honest, I think Latia's gonna win. And unless something goes horribly wrong with Latia's date, then Juliana will have a chance of winning. I feel like Grant and Juliana have similar stories. They connected through the lone wolf thing. He showed her the tat. It's just so many commonalities. And when you find your story in another person, that could be life-changing because this person has literally experienced the same emotions that you have. However, I don't know if they've gotten to bond on anything else versus when it comes to Latia, I feel like they may not have the same story, but they've bonded in other areas. So it's just so hard, but I don't think you can sustain. I mean, who am I to say? Never been engaged, never been married. But I don't think you can sustain a relationship off of just having the same story. I think you have to have more in common with that person. And other than their backgrounds and feeling lonely, I don't know what else they have in common. I don't see them bonding as much as him and Latia do. Grant calls her strong, beautiful, courageous. He reminds her how, one thing that he remembers the most from today was after they were go-karting in the mud and she was looking in the mirror to make sure she still looked okay. And he was like, she just looks so beautiful. You're so beautiful, you don't even know. And obviously, that's so sweet to hear. And it brings a smile to her face. And he pulls out this Polaroid of them at hometowns when they had the bouquet and the pizza right before, they saw the family. It's a super, super sweet, cute moment. And then, of course, Grant presents her the card where Jesse asks, should they choose to forego their individual rooms, they can stay together in the fantasy suite tonight. And they stay together in the fantasy suite. And honestly, I don't know who ever in Bachelor history has turned down that offer, but they end up staying together. As we see them go to the room, they're making out, the lights go off, and no molestar is put on the door. So, now it's time to play Did They Sleep Together? The game show where we analyze body language from the morning after to see if our favorite bachelor Grant got busy with one Juliana last night during their fantasy suites. Let's check it out. They woke up hand in hand. Grant was stretching like he just put on that shirt 2 seconds before the camera started rolling.
12 out of 10 experience. Would do it again.
12 out of 10, right?
Yeah. You're good company. I think I'm gonna keep you.
I think I'm gonna keep you. I'm a keeper. I think you're a keeper too.
Haven't had this type of night with somebody in a really long time. I feel good. I got a lot of questions answered. Said a lot of things. Had a lot of fun.
All right. You were mad at me for splashing you with mud?
No.
I thought you were mad at me.
No. I get a little down and dirty when it's for a good reason.
When it counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get a little down and dirty when it's for a good cause. Y'all. Let's see, it's not gonna like that one.
I'm definitely falling more in love with Grant. And I think having the space and opportunity to just go deeper and ask him like all these questions that I had, it was exactly what we needed, I think, for me to be able to kind of fall more in love and allow myself to feel like okay loving this man.
Said she was gonna hold on to last night for a while. Cue to Keith Sweat. All right, let me get out of these people's business. I do like how Grant is taking some time with Juliana in the morning. I feel like some bachelors, I don't know, they spend the whole day together, they hang out at night, and then they be dipping, like, in the morning. Like, they don't even really eat breakfast together. He's like, you know, it's all important to him. The aftercare is important. Next up is Zoe's one-on-one day. She is on the beach in this beautiful yellow ombre dress. Oh my gosh. I just want to raid Zoe's closet, y'all. Every look she has worn this season, it eats so bad. Oh, she eats so bad. She is my style icon. Oh my gosh, I want every dress she has. Come on. Body tee, style nice. She got nicer as the season progressed. I'm loving this character development for Zoe. Before Zoe meets up with Grant, she gets some advice from Rachel, the woman who came in third place for Joey's season. They talk about how it is to be at this stage of the game and being the girl that's had the least amount of time and how that is really tough. Rachel obviously is shocked to find out Zoe is there without ever having a one-on-one. Like I said, y'all, that's gotta be some new type of Bachelor cinematic universe record. Zoe talks about how at this point, because she's had the least amount of time, she doesn't even really know too much about Grant, how he envisions raising a family, how he envisions, you know, his future with her. And that's a good point. Like, I feel like sometimes we forget because The Bachelor has so many options for women, but this is an engagement. Both of you need to equally consent to this. That person who's deciding if you're the right one, Grant, should be deciding as much as you're deciding if he's the right one for you. It's not just he's the right one because he's the Bachelor on the show. You know what you need, you know what you desire, and you gotta make sure that person is up to your standards too. And so I'm glad Zoe is sharing this with Rachel. Now we already know she ain't got no chance. We know this is kind of a waste because there's no way that you've only gone on like one-ish date with someone now because of hometowns and you're about to get engaged to them. Like, come on. We know that's already out of the cards. But girl, I'm glad for you sticking up for yourself, you know? You brought up something that a lot of people don't think about. So props to you, Zoe. And let me borrow that dress, please. Thank you, sis. Zoe is feeling optimistic after her talk with Rachel. She feels like, okay, as long as we walk out of the date feeling, that's my man, that's my woman, I'm going to choose her, then she feels like, you know, they can do enough catch up to be ready for an engagement. Let's be realistic, Zoe. I love the optimism, and I'm an optimistic and happy person too. But we also have to deal and live in reality. So we're not really doing it. And y'all, it's like the producer gods of The Bachelor heard her and said, F whatever the heck you want, Zoe. I don't care. Because how did the person who spent the least time with Grant get the date where they can't even talk to each other? Y'all, they did silent tantric yoga. This weird date that The Bachelor pushes every freaking year to give us some type of innuendos when I know it's so uncomfortable for those people, especially Zoe, because she's trying to figure out if this man is going to be her fiance, but she can't talk to him now. She just got to sit in his lap for the next hour and look into his eyes. She was silenced. She wasn't silent. She was silenced by ABC. Like, you mean I had the least amount of time out of all these girls, and you gonna take me on the date where I can't talk? Grant, please be so for real. You didn't even try. Grant, you didn't even try to further the connection. You heard about all these dates and you were like, okay, which one don't talk? Yeah, Zoe, because I already know I'm sending her home. Clearly, due to this, Zoe is not enjoying this date at all. Grant gonna talk about, I think because we can't talk during this, it's gonna help us understand each other on a deeper level. Grant, there's the door. Head to it. Chop chop! It's the evening date and Zoe is wearing another fabulous dress. Oh! Where did she shop? I love her clothes. She looks gorgeous. Grant and Zoe share how
Today's activity, like, I don't like yoga.
Oh man, I was struggling too.
Grant also says
Things have been a little bumpy here and there. I think that maybe we're exactly where we're supposed to be. And I know obviously, we didn't get a one-on-one date, but I said, Zoe has so much potential and she's such an amazing woman that regardless of us not having a one-on-one date, I want to see more about her. I want to meet her family and I want to take that chance.
Zoe then shares, how she thinks he's a good man, but he can be a little hard to crack sometimes, which leads Grant to share things about himself. Regarding how he loves hip-hop, he loves rap. His favorite color is blue, which prompts Zoe to ask,
What's my favorite color?
Is it blue also? What is it? Like you said, what is it?
No, I mean teal. I think it's teal.
Okay.
This Negro don't know. This man don't know. You mean I'm supposed to get engaged to you in a week and you don't know my favorite color? Why would you even say that, Grant, if you didn't know her favorite color? Grant! Stop it! You're making it worse! Zoe explains how, because of the limited time they've had, she feels like she's been basically advertising herself to him, but she doesn't really know much about Grant, and so he gives her his whole spiel about, his dad is recovering from alcoholism, and his family wasn't the closest. He couldn't really talk to his mom. They didn't really talk about emotions that much, and what he wants now is a wife to be able to share his emotions with and start a family with and build a connection with. And then Zoe talks about, how she would like someone to travel with. She loves to host parties and she really wants to build an empire with someone. They choose to forego their individual rooms and they stay in the fantasy suite together. Grant expresses how he really sees a future with Zoe, but can you? This future is a week away. How far into the future are we envisioning? Are we envisioning till tomorrow? Till next week? Till 2 years from now? What, Grant, stop leading these people on. You don't see a future with her. Stop lying to me. Honestly, I'd probably have fun if I was in Zoe's shoes, as in go to the DR, hang out for this day, but before the rose ceremony, I'm gonna self-eliminate. I know it ain't going my way. And that's fine. Everything works out the way it's supposed to. And if it's not Grant and I, then it will be someone else and I.
Period.
The morning after, they have a picnic on the beach, and Grant and Zoe talk about how they really found some commonalities in how they were raised. All right, y'all, it's the moment I have been waiting for. It is time for Latia's one-on-one day night with Grant. And to prepare for that, she meets up with Katie, who is the winner from Zach Shallcross's season of The Bachelor. Katie shares that Zach told her that he got intimate with another girl 30 minutes into their one-on-one date. And Katie wishes Zach wouldn't have told her that because it was so hard to compartmentalize and focus and lock in on just their date and think about just their connection before they got engaged. Now, it ended up working out for Katie. Her and Zach are together still, but Katie wishes Zach wouldn't have said anything. Now, she says this because Latia explains how she's really worried about, if Grant got intimate with other girls because she's not planning on having sex with him. She hopes that he hasn't done that with other people, and that would really just make it really challenging for her. And so Katie inspires Latia to not go in there and not to ask any questions and to just tell Grant you only want to focus on y'all's connection. You don't want to hear or think about his time with anyone else. Latia says that's a great idea, and if it is her in the end, then that is a conversation they will have when they get there. Now, for their activity, they go ziplining through the forest, and this sounds so fun. If you know me, you know I love a little good adventure. I love a roller coaster. I love a zip line. I like to be safe, but I also like to live life on the edge when I can. But that's not the same for everyone. Latia says she is not the adventurous type, which makes me realize I did not know this about her, but I guess none of their one-on-one dates was really like on the edge type of adventurous. And I'm not sure if Grant knows that. And she also is saying she could be nervous about him being with the other girls, about, his expectations for tonight. Like, is he expecting them to get physically intimate? It's just a lot that's on her mind, but the zipline doesn't really help. And so I wonder if that could be a problem later on, if Grant's like a super adventurous person, but he's getting with someone who's not adventurous. How could that work? After ziplining, they head to the pool where they have an important conversation. Latia said that her family brought up how Grant asked, would she be okay moving from Utah? And Latia lets him know that she would.
Okay. So you would be open to moving?
Yeah.
So my dad's pretty much like alone, and he's dealing with this battle of addiction. Right now he's in rehab in New Jersey, which takes support.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of
support. To New York, we could be close to him.
Latia said,
I freaking feel so strong. I did not think that I would, but I do. And I just want to stay for the whole time, and I just want to be with you.
The fact that other women are there gives her anxiety. And then he reminds her that he only wants to spend his life with one woman, which is nice to hear in the midst of him going between 3 women. But Latia tells us, the audience, that to protect her feelings as of now, physical intimacy is not something she's willing to do with Grant, and she's fearful for how he'll react. Now, I love Latia, but I think she got nervous about telling Grant that sex wasn't an option for her because she let the dress do all the talking for her. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan.
I know that your number one aspiration and something that drives you is to be a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like your timeline is in terms of that?
I mean, I think that I'm ready, and I feel like we're pointed in the same direction. Our values are aligned, and I feel like we'll figure out the timeline. But I'm 31, ideally like 2 years.
Grant tells us that Latia's timeline is a lot faster than his, and he always envisioned him and his partner enjoying life a little before kids came. However, he says, I think you're willing to compromise for someone you really love. I don't think he notices what he just said. He loves Latia. Grant hands Latia the card that asks if she wants to spend the night, and she does something I've never seen any Bachelor contestant ever do.
What do you think?
I think that you're a very good guy, and I think you have great intentions, and I think you have only been so respectful to me, but it's hard for me right now because there are still people here. So I just have to make choices that will help me kind of protect my feelings and my peace. And so sex is just like not on the table for me.
Honestly, I respect that.
Yeah.
1000%. I think the maturity that you bring is big. I like the ground that you stand on, and I know where your priorities are, and I know what's important to you. It's what you are on the inside that I can see myself with you. I can see you as my wife. Because I do love you.
I love you.
Y'all, did you hear that? She basically almost denied the fantasy suite. It looked like she was gonna say no, but she just comes out and tells him, you know, sex is not on the table for me. Is that cool with you? He says, I respect it. And then he says, I love you! Oh my God! Oh my gosh! I knew it! I knew when he said that he was willing to compromise for someone you love, I knew he meant he loved Latia. And at this point, Zoe Juliana, y'all can pack it up. You can go home. He told her he loved her, and she said it back. They love each other. Latia loves each other.
Latia is a once-in-a-lifetime woman to me. Tonight, we really opened up. It feels like we're supposed to be together.
I mean, at this point, it's a wrap. Oh God, y'all. So, as they wake up in the morning, they are eating breakfast together and, you know, just talking about their newfound love for each other. Lydia admits that she's felt like that for a while, but she's glad that he said something and now has given her the chance to come forward on how she feels. And Grant tells us, the audience, that he does love Latia, but maybe he said it too soon, because it's hard to look someone in the eyes and see they light up about that. But if he feels that way for someone else, or is close to feeling that way for someone else, should he have said it? And so that's making me think, does he love Juliana too? That's what he's alluding to. It is time for the final rose ceremony. This is the last rose ceremony. The next time Grant holds a rose in his hand, he will be giving it to his fiance. And so Zoe looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, what else is new? She's rocking this beautiful white dress. Honestly, I feel like she wore it because she knew she wasn't going to be able to whip it out at the proposal, if she was being real with herself. And like we all expected, Zoe goes home. But she has a very graceful exiting conversation with Grant and says how she hopes he finds what he's looking for. At the end, we get a sneak peek with Grant's family coming to join him in the DR and taking a look at how them meeting his family will impact next week's result. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, it is the moment we've all been waiting for. We will discover who is getting engaged to Grant. Please comment below and let me know, who do you think is gonna win and be Mrs. Grant Ellis? Thanks so much. I'll see you next week. Remember, wear your seatbelt.